Hi, Dimitri Downing back with another episode of Canterbury Tales, stories of the great and emerging brands in the American cannabis space, global cannabis space as well. We're still here today at MJ Unpacked, where there's tons of brands organizing, getting together, meeting people, and talking about how to evolve across the United States. Very complicated prior to interstate commerce, of course. Here with my co-host,
Destiny Blanco.
And we are pleased to be joined by another cool American brand. And we actually are going to talk about two brands today. We got talking about Jay's, and we're going to talk about Banned Cannabis Edible Company. But first, let's introduce the founder, owner, designer, inventor, entrepreneur, probably lots of titles in there. Jason, nice to meet you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about Jason, a little bit about how you got into cannabis, and then we'll talk about the brands.
My name is Jason Tueni. I'm the founder and CEO of Canna Brands. We have five different brands in the state of Michigan that are under our belt. All the brands we started ourselves. We started from scratch, and we innovated, a lot of thought process gone through everything. I got into the cannabis space in 2008 as a caregiver in Michigan.
Like one of the OGs.
Yeah, they call it that. I still remember when we used to go to the hydro stores, we used to have to tell them we were growing tomatoes. So it's the only way without getting kicked out.
Important. One of the main thing about Canterbury Tales is you want to tell your story because it's that expertise that you've developed over years and years that help you design better brands. There will be brands developed out of research and development labs and laboratories 10 years from now. There'll be some good ones.
Yeah.
But they're not going to have that same flavor, that same spirit that guys like you have brought into it. So go ahead, sorry.
Started in 08, fell in love with the flower right away. I was a landscaper before that, and during the off season I was bored and I wanted to look for something new to do, and I picked up cannabis as a hobby. And from there it became a lifestyle and then a career, and that's what it morphed into today.
Awesome. So Canna Brands is an umbrella company?
Yeah. Our main brand that we started with in 2016 was Canna Boys.
Oh, I don't have that here, but go ahead.
Canna Boys.
Yeah, that's what put us on the map. We won a bunch of High Time Cups. We've won 18 High Time Cups.
With
not High Time, 18 Cannabis Cups.
Cannabis Cups.
Nice.
Not only with Canna Boys, but with all our brands overall under our umbrella.
Brand master.
Why
do you have so many good brands?
So we're consumers first in the space, and
That's how it happens. The passion.
Being a consumer first, we always see something missing in a market segment, and being the perfectionists we are, being people who care about how products should be delivered, the efficacy of products, delivering a product with integrity. We've seen that missing in the industry, and we believe that we could fill that gap and bring the best product out. So every time we have our sights set on something, a new category, just our approach to building our go-to-market strategy is usually better than these competitors and the other guys in the space. So we believe we're always going to bring you the best.
Are you guys working in other states outside of Michigan?
We just got a licensing deal in Montana.
Right.
We're going to launch there in about 60 days. That's still under wraps, but next week we'll be wrapping up. We've actually wrapped up the deal. We're actually going to do the R&D there.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. There's lots of markets to expand into. How you expand in is very strategic. These are complicated business times, but MJ Unpacked is here so people could talk about this stuff and figure out how to do it and figure out what other people are doing. So let's talk about a couple of these brands that we have. Well, you want to start with Jay's or Banned? I like both names.
Either one. We'll start with Jay's.
Jay's.
Our approach with Jay's. So, when we looked at the market cap back in 2020 for pre-rolls, it was around 1.5% of the total revenue. But we knew it was getting ready to explode. So our go-to-market strategy for this is we didn't want to do what these other brands that were launching pre-rolls, that were creating these packages, all this new way of delivering cannabis in a pre-roll to people. And we believe that they were missing, the tobacco company figured it out. They figured out the perfect size. They figured out how to get it to you fresh. And we wanted to take that approach where don't reinvent the wheel. Let's put it in a tobacco box, because in the future that's who our competitors are going to be, or our partners. We don't know. So we wanted to build something that was going to attract them, and we wanted to do it better than them. And I hope we can do it better than Big Tobacco, because if they come, we'll be prepared, and if we'll be a formidable opponent maybe.
Yeah.
And
No, that's great. That's interesting because I didn't even thought about that. But Big Tobacco must have put in decades of research and development into designing the exact size, the exact shape, the exact amount. And, Cannabis has to do that, and you guys are utilizing their skill sets.
So what we did with Jay's is we have two brands that we launched at the same time. There was Jay's and Toker's Choice. Jay's is the premium top shelf flower. I think this one is one of our cultivars. It's Sour Takis. It's probably, I think, 33, 34% THC. Pre-rolls were really missing high-quality flower, no trim. They have a bad name. Our focus was to bring the best quality pre-roll that you can bring to the market, and I believe that's what we accomplished, and that's what we set out to do. And then we have our Toker's Choice. It's more of that economy price point, terpene infused, more for the recreational, everyday, the brand new smoker, maybe the 21, 22, maybe the soccer mom who doesn't necessarily want to smell just like a skunk. That's what you'll get with like the J's. It's cannabis. It's all cannabis, but it's not terpene infused. It's just natural flower, nothing else mixed in it, and we really believe that we're going to get the market with that, and we believe that's expandable throughout the country because it's the way we select the flower, the way we use our genetics with other cultivators. That's how we plan on expanding in the future between that and Toker's Choice.
Are you guys more into licensing deals or manufacturing yourself, or are you going to wait till interstate commerce and then just manufacture in Michigan and ship, or what? So what do you think?
In Michigan, we're vertically integrated.
Right.
We're on a small vertically integrated company, and we're a private company, so we're not one of these big companies. So our approach was it was a focus on Michigan, control our backyard, conquer our backyard. That's where we wanted to. We looked at the macro there, but there's other manufacturers in the United States right now that are really struggling to get a foothold. They have weak brand approach, so we've been getting approached from all over the place to bring our brands to their state, but we're looking for the right distribution partners. That's what we found. One in Montana. We're talking to a couple in Florida right now, and one in Arizona. So nice. We're going to expand it through licensing. It's easier like that for us.
You should get a manufacturing license in Arizona. Just you bring all your house of umbrella, the entire umbrella, all the brands, and boom,
all
do
the
it
Canna
yourself.
Boys.
Yeah.
All the Canna
hopefully,
boys.
God willing, one day.
Yeah, you won't need a license. I mean, you got to make that choice. A lot of investment, a lot of infrastructure needs to be developed out, marketing team, sales forces, state by state. Maybe it's better to have a partner who knows what they're doing. It's not easy.
For us, it's definitely important to find the right partner who has the same core values as we have as a company. A lot of these guys just get into bed with the first person that shows them a deal.
Yeah.
We're picky. Even in our company, we have no investors. We bootstrap this company. We don't just take something from we won't partner with anybody. It's not worth it. We've worked really hard on building what we've, built today, and we just feel like, slow and steady will win the race for us, at least.
Yeah.
We're watching all these guys right now in today's economy of the cannabis economic state. Everybody's failing. Everybody's getting crushed. They're laying off so many of their employees, percentages of their employees, 20%, 30%, 50%. And I just think a lot of these guys came in not understanding what cannabis was.
Yeah, or with crazy-ass business plans.
That were never true.
Overvalued, ripping off their investors, all kinds of shit like that.
Well, it's usually, the big corporations that don't have the passion behind it.
That too.
You got to be careful because, like I said, a lot of these guys are they're making cannabis what they want it to be, but it's not what the consumer is looking
Mids.
for. Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Well, mids, the problem is mids is what sells.
Yeah.
it's 80% of the consumers
There's a
that go shop in stores are looking for a few things.
niche market for it.
They're looking for what's on sale. They're looking for the cheapest thing there is.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be mints.
Like you said, soccer
Yeah.
moms and dads.
And what we do in, like, for our dispensary, for example,
Yeah.
our goal is to have the best bottom shelf in the world. The best bottom shelf in the world, because you want you want it to start from there. You want your bottoms to be good. You want your mids to be better than mid, and you want your top to be better than anybody else's top. And once people start to learn how to identify what's a good bottom, you know, your dispensary will really reap the rewards. If you just buy the worst bottoms and give it to your consumers, watch how many times they're going to come back. But if you find what they could afford, because in today's economy, we really have to focus on what is the price point the consumer is paying for that product.
Right.
I'm in the belief that cannabis is going to be more like a fruit and a vegetable. It's going to be selling for a very cheap price in the future. They're growing it. We're buying pounds in Michigan for under $300 right now.
Yeah, it's 300 in Arizona.
Yeah, so
Outdoor greenhouse.
we could talk about top shelf this, but top shelf cannabis smokers are only 5% of the market, maybe at best. So you want to be a company that's going to play in the 5%, or do you want to be a company that's going to play in the 95% and thrive?
Yeah.
You know, that's what these MSOs haven't figured out how to do yet.
I don't think I think it's more of a licensing play with them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's the financial games that they play. We have that issue in Arizona. The guys at shouldn't mention any names, but there's certain dispensaries that you can tell they love. They pay attention to the consumer. They care, pay attention to the patient. And there's other more corporate dispensaries that clearly are playing some sort of financial corporate type games. It's interesting. But
What's the band? Yeah, what's the story behind the
I mean,
name?
you know, I know you got 5 different brands, but we got Jay's here. Now we got Band as well.
So
And
tell
these
you
are-
the story behind Band. The original name of Band was Candy, Canndy.
Oh, Candy, that's clever.
And we launched it in the state of Michigan. We made like 150,000 packs for our first launch, and then I believe we distributed maybe half of those the first couple of days, and then the state of Michigan had us pull them down and said, hey, this name is catering to kids. So Cookies doesn't cater to kids, but I guess Candy does.
Right.
And nothing against Cookies, they're amazing.
No, but it's Cookies,
That's a
Cookies in
good
Michigan?
point.
Cookies in Michigan, and so I was getting picked on by the oligarchs, sent the state after me, and so the state made me change everything. They made me destroy everything, and so we asked them if we could change our name. They said yeah. So we asked them if we could change the name of Sweeties to the brand, to change the name of Sweeties, and they said no. You can't change it to that name. That name is also banned from being used. So
Right.
my partner got sick of dealing with the state, and he said, I want to name my company Band then. And he said, is that name banned? And they said, no, you could use it. So we ended up calling our company Band.
And so many times.
Because we kept on getting banned with our names, I guess because they cater to people. We're pretty good at marketing. So we changed the name to Band, and it's probably better than the name Candy. So the state did us a favor. I believe we're probably number 3 in the state of Michigan for gummies sold in the state.
That's good. It's a competitive market.
It's a competitive market, plus our price point is higher than the two guys higher than us. I mean, if we were to drop our price point a few bucks,
Okay.
we would probably be number 1 or number 2.
Wow.
But we'll keep what we got right now because we like our price point.
That's excellent. And this is, as well, you're looking to take to other states.
Yeah. We want to be attractive. So, if you're too cheap, they're not going to make money. But also understanding where cannabis is going to go and the overflow of how much marijuana is being cultivated in the United States right now. It's underfloor pricing. We're buying underfloor. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Below what it costs for them to grow. So if it's costing somebody $400 a pound, we're buying it for $250. That's happening everywhere in the United States right now.
Yeah.
It's not good for anybody when it happens,
Right.
but we were built for that. So we were built to thrive at that point. We
Yeah.
expected that.
It is a complicated market. I kind of constantly think about the fluctuation and the price. But I think, it's just going to keep coming down.
Yeah.
The cultivation. I mean, we have hundreds of unlimited cultivations in Arizona. And now, you know, we got a big greenhouse that's selling it at $300 a pound. There's 5, 10, 15 other greenhouses coming online. What's going to happen? But that's okay. People will adjust.
You know, that's the beautiful thing of capitalism.
Yeah.
Right? It allows us to grow. It allows us to fail.
Yeah.
It allows another company to buy for 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
It creates opportunity.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rough 7 to 10 years in this industry.
Well, I think you guys are well positioned in the manufacturing space because you're creating those products that, you know, sure, the cultivation goes down. There's going to be some people that suffer. You'll be able to produce your products cheaper, and the prices of the products will still stay higher, but still come down slowly. So
we're Michigan's largest pre-roll manufacturer. There's no numbers that actually tell you it, but I don't believe anybody is producing the amount we're producing. We built our company for this moment. We built our company to. I tell people, if you guys want to race to the bottom, we'll build the road there. Follow us. And
don't be afraid of it.
We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid of what the future holds.
Good man.
We're from Michigan. We're home of manufacturing. We're home of automation, and I've automated the pre-roll side. We're gonna basically automate the edible side, and our automation is gonna work for us. We really know how to build an assembly line there.
Wow, I hope that.
Awesome.
It would be good if Biden snapped his fingers and gave us interstate commerce tomorrow. You guys would dominate.
You know, I'm not really looking forward to federal legalization because we still got more to go to build.
Right.
The infrastructure, we don't believe that's happening anytime soon. Infrastructure is not built ready. Too many things are happening behind the scenes where we don't see federal legalization until at least 2030.
Really? You think that long?
No sooner. Impossible.
Yeah, see, I just, there's too many, federal legalization or interstate commerce?
Federal legalization.
Federal legalization.
There's too many politicians that are collecting money from cannabis entrepreneurs, and they need the money. They want the money.
So who do they collect more money from? Prisons? Privatized owned prisons? Or do they collect more money from cannabis companies?
Well, they used to. No, but like in donations.
In donations, yeah. In donations. If you got to think about who the people are you got to think who's going to lose the money when legalization happens. Don't think about who's going to gain the money. You're counting that one side. You got to count the other side who's going to lose the money. How many people a year go to jail for cannabis just for having a little bit of cannabis on them?
Yeah,
right.
There's still
It's a
lot out
business.
there. Yeah.
It's a business. So until you replace the revenue that the oligarchies are going to have, until that happens, that's when you're going to get federal legalization to come in. You have to, right now, what benefit does the United States get? What are they collecting a year in taxes right now, currently, in cannabis taxes?
A lot because of the Tueni.
Exactly. So what are they collecting, about $20 billion?
I don't know the numbers, but it's a lot.
Let's call it $20 billion, right? How are you going to replace the $20 billion that you're going to take away from legalization? You got to give the government their money back.
Yeah.
When the cannabis companies, the manufacturers, go to the table, when you're doing a business deal, you have to approach the situation. You have to approach the situation as you have to give. So what are you going to give the government for them to give you this? If you don't go to the negotiation table and say, "Hey, I'm going to give you $40 billion in guaranteed taxes," not organization, as an industry,
right?
We're going to guarantee the government $40 billion. Guarantee the government the money they're going to lose, and then they'll start talking about how you're going to bring federal legalization into tax.
Yeah, that's the gong back there.
Yeah,
this is made a deal.
us.
Yeah.
All right, we're kind of on time right here. We got some interviews that we got to get to.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you and talking about Band and Jays, and I look forward to getting you more in the future, getting to know you more in the future. I mean, you're clearly a great entrepreneur, a brand developer, and OG from the industry. So your brands are gonna rock and roll across the country. But, we'll talk a little bit after this.
Thank you for having me.
The best way for somebody to contact you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, and then we're on Instagram or cannaboys__. And I mean, if you Google us, you'll find me.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, man.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you so
Thank
much
you
for
for joining us
on our podcast.
Thank you.
That was another episode.